Oh, you already know. And don't forget to subscribe, like this video, hit the notification so that you can see his videos all the time. I'm telling you, great content.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, today is the day. Y'all know what game it is. Y'all know who we playing against. Y'all already know the intro. Your host with the most, Zella AA. Obviously, we're down 2-1, but anything can happen. It's a final. I want to know what you guys think. But first, let's see what the people of LA got to say. Tengo poco de preguntas, Alejandro. ¿Cómo andamos ahora?
De maravilla, andamos al 100 aquí ya en Los Ángeles. Primera vez en esta ciudad tan bonita y en este estadio también tan bonito, la verdad.
¿Vos primera vez aquí?
Sí, primera vez aquí, tanto en Estados Unidos como en la ciudad. Muy bonito.
¿Y qué te parece todo el estadio ahorita?
No, hermoso, la verdad es un estadio de primer mundo, un estadio bonito. Falta la impresión de estar ya dentro, a ver qué tal nos parece, ¿verdad? Pero por fuera tiene muy buena vista, un ambiente excelente aquí con la música y la gente. Pues a ver qué tal.
Platícame del primer partido, obviamente perdimos en México. ¿Cómo crees que tu equipo jugó en ese partido?
El León jugó muy bien, jugó de manera espectacular, la verdad que por ahí mostró el carácter un defensa líbero que es ¿cómo se llama? Ambriz, un jovencito mexicano, incluso leonés, jugó de maravilla y él hizo que cubriendo a Vela no lo dejó y la verdad es que el LAFC pues sí no tuvo muchas oportunidades, aparte de que pienso que pesó mucho el estadio. Sí. Esperemos que aquí no le pese mucho a León y nos vuelvan a sacar el partido, pero pues ahí la llevamos, ¿no?
¿Y qué pronóstico le das al partido? ¿Cuánto crees que gana tu equipo? ¿Vamos a tiempos extra? ¿Qué pronóstico das?
Yo digo que se empatan tiempo extra y ojalá gane León. La verdad sería difícil atinarle al marcador.
Okay. Última pregunta para Alejandro antes que lo dejamos ver el partido. Alejandro, ¿a qué horas tomaste tu primera cerveza ahora?
¿Qué crees que todavía no he tomado? Ahorita ahí dentro nos vamos a aventar una a ver qué anda.
Okay. All right, pues vamos a dejar a Alejandro para que vea el partido.
Dale, muchísimas gracias.
Okay, gracias. I'm here with Pookie and I got a few questions. Pookie, how are we doing today, man?
We're doing fabulous today. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Excited for this final. I'm a little nervous. I don't know what to expect. But before we even talk about that, let's talk about US Open Cup. What do you think about LAFC's performance? How do you think the teenagers did? And how do you feel about losing against the Galaxy?
I felt they were prepared. I felt they did the best they could. It's one thing when you come to the big leagues. Now you know how the competition is. And I feel they're going in the right pace. Yeah. They're going to do good in the future.
How did you feel about Ricky Puig taking off his shirt and showing it to 32-52?
It just goes to show when one man is single and not a team.
Yeah.
You know, selfishness. There's a reason why he's here and not in Europe.
True.
And I'll leave it at that.
Ramon, you already know. He's the usual now. Ramon, before we even talk about this game, let's talk about US Open Cup. How do you think the teenagers did? And how do you feel about losing against the Galaxy?
Well, I mean, that first half I was truly impressed. I mean, I didn't expect that much from that squad. I mean, you had your third stringer blocking a penalty kick, and just the defense almost caused the turnover and scoring that goal right there, and they played awesome, dude. That was a great effort for them.
Okay, but how do you feel about losing against the Galaxy, though?
That, I mean, it's never a good thing, but I mean, we all know what the focus was. We all knew that when we went into that, so I mean, congratulations on beating our teenagers.
How do you feel about Ricky Puig taking off his shirt and showing it to the 32-52?
Chiellini said it best. That's a clown move, dog. Like, you're really celebrating that goal on a third string team. Like, come on, that's the C squad, and you're over here celebrating that. Do that when we had all of our starters or the A squad. Then you can do that. But you know what? Just keep your shirt on, man.
Before we even keep doing interviews, I want to shout out my boy Navid. You know who you are. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be at this game today. So Navid, you know who you are. We did make a deal, so you already know. I appreciate you, my guy. Questions. Ernie, how are we doing today in this final, man?
We're doing good, man. We're excited. We're pumped. You know, we're looking for that W today.
All right, before we even talk about that, let's talk about Open Cup. How do you think the teenagers perform, and how do you feel losing against the Galaxy?
You know what? I feel like Chirundolo went in there more focused on CONCACAF and MLS Cup than we are in Open Cup. You know, I feel like he wanted to test out the young talent, see how they're developing, you know, what's our future looking like. And you know what? We got a pretty good future, you know. Galaxy, if you ask me, we had them by the neck. They weren't able to counterattack us much. They weren't able to even score a goal. It's just on second half, we did fall asleep. We were unfortunate we got those 2 goals, but the rest of the second half, we were pressing, we were defending, we were doing what we're supposed to do. If you ask me if we probably would have tied, we probably would have beaten them in PKs. Okay. But, you know, it could have gone either way. It would have been 50-50. It's just those 2 unfortunate goals.
Danny, how are we doing today for this CONCACAF Champions League final leg 2?
Excellent, man. A little less drunk than the last time you interviewed me, so that's good.
All right, before we even talk about that, let's talk about US Open Cup. How do you think the teenagers perform, and how do you feel about losing against the Galaxy?
You know what? It was a great opportunity for it to be like a romanticized win, you know, when you got to win. Oh, there you go. Thank you, bro. Thank you. When you have opportunity to beat your rivals with your B team, and you know, if we won that day, which we did pretty good the first half, we would have had an immortalized win, you know. Yeah. But I don't feel too bad about it. It was a good loss. It was an enjoying loss. Yeah.
How do you feel about Ricky Puig taking off his shirt and showing it to the 32-52?
Payaso. There you go. I mean, when you play against your rivals and you beat the little kids, man, I think they had school the next day, right?
Yeah.
I think biology test the next day. I get it, you're beating your rival, but come on, let's go. He's beating better players. He's better than that.
With Luis, and I got a few questions from Luis. How are we doing today, man?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good, man. We obviously interviewing fans before this final. So before we even talk about that, how do you think we did versus in Open Cup? Obviously, we play with teenagers. How do you feel that we lost against the Galaxy?
I think 2-0 is not bad considering it's teenagers. I think for the experience and all that stuff, it's great for them. And then they're teenagers, you know. It's a lot for them to learn from that, so I think it's good.
How do you feel about Ricky Puig taking off his shirt and showing it to the 32-52?
Did I like it? No, but hey, if that's how he felt, how he had to celebrate, that's good for him, man.
I'm here with Alex, and I got a few questions from Alex. How are we doing today, man?
Doing good. Just getting the day started. We're going to get this win today, and we're going to celebrate after.
All right, before we even talk about that, how do you think the team performed in the U.S. Open Cup? Obviously, we played with teenagers. We lost to the Galaxy. How do you feel about that?
Honestly, I didn't think they did that bad for the first half. We're like giving them work too, but you know, I think that the kids weren't ready for that yet. But it wasn't a bad game. I think they struggled more. You know, the Galaxy struggled more to even keep up with our young players. So it's cool. I mean, you know, we'll let them have that. We ain't worried about that.
How'd you feel about Ricky Puig taking off his shirt and showing it to the 32-52?
Oh, he's a clown. He's a clown. You couldn't make it at Barca, so
I feel it.
you know, we let him be. Let him be. It's
All
cool.
right, so about Open Cup. Obviously, you play with teenagers. We lost to the Galaxy. How do you feel about that?
I think it was a valuable experience for our young players. I think Cherundolo knew that going in. In retrospect, I was kind of mad that we didn't, have a few more first team players. But then looking at it afterwards, I was like, you know what? Actually, it's fine because we just gave a whole almost 11. It was like 8 or 9 players their first minutes on at BMO. So I started to look at the positives and I was like, you know what? Carson's gonna get eliminated right after anyway, so you know it's gonna be all right. It's not gonna matter.
How'd you feel about Ricky Puig taking off his shirt and showing it to the 32-52?
Bro. But just like Giorgio said, payaso. I mean, for those of us that know football, you know, even looking at it at an unbiased, in an unbiased perspective, that was pretty fucking corny. I do think, like, I put out a message or something, like I put out a message, I said, well, at this point, I commented on a video, I was like, well, at this point, Carson doesn't have much else to celebrate, so I guess they'll take what they can at this point, and they thought that would help them, but I think they lost the next match the very next week, so it doesn't, I don't know. I pay attention to MLS, and I think it was kind of, you set yourself up for failure on that.
How we doing today, man?
Good. How about you?
Pretty good. All right, we're here interviewing fans before the game. So tell me, what's up? What's at the setup? What's going on here? What we selling?
I got an Aztec themed LAFC shirts.
Okay.
It's all my original artwork.
All right. Are you part of a support group? This is your own kind of thing.
My own thing.
Okay. How long you been doing this?
Like 10 years.
Okay.
But this is it right here.
And how much are these cost?
The hoodies are 50, the shirts are 30, and the patches are 10.
Okay.
And then we also have online. You can check us out online. We got a Instagram Battle Scars 562. That's my personal account, and I have all my artwork on there. This is all my original artwork.
So how long you been an LAFC fan, man?
Man, actually I just started because everybody got me in there. Hey, you got to do LAFC. I won a couple of soccer games, man. I fell in love with it. It's dope. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm showing my love and doing the logo.
So what prediction you give for tonight? Are we coming out as champions or we're not be coming out as champions?
Of course. Let's do it.
What's the prediction score?
3-0.
3-0. All right, one more question before we let Jonathan go. Jonathan, what time did you take your first drink today, man?
Like 10:30.
10:30?
Yeah.
Ready to continue drinking, go through this wave of emotions, and maybe cry if we become champions?
Yes, sir. You already know it. Hey,
all right, guys.
We're going to party after the championship, buddy.
All right, guys. We're going to let Jonathan go so you can enjoy, man. Appreciate you. Thank you. Cup. Obviously, we lost. We played with teenagers. We lost to the Galaxy. How do you feel about that?
Expected.
Expected?
Yeah, I mean, if you bring guys who get paid $7 million to $10 million or whatever, it doesn't matter. Win those games, rest our team. I tell you this, I believe in rest. If we lose today, all the rest is fucking doesn't matter.
Before we even talk about that game, what you think about Ricky Puig taking off his shirt and showing it to the 32-52?
Ricky Puig? Who's that?
I don't know. Who is that?
Who's that? Yeah, dude. You're beating our JV squad on the varsity team's court, and you give that.
It's funny, huh?
Yeah, it's
Kind of corny.
It's fine.
So let's talk about the first leg in Mexico. How do you think the team performed, and what do you think we could do better on today?
More physical. So when Mexico, they were more physical. They knew what they were going to do. They knew they wanted to hit them hard. They knew they wanted to make them feel that they were, hey, welcome to Mexico. Welcome to Liga MX. And towards the end, I think they did great because they met their composure. They followed the pace, and we got that one goal that we needed to come back here, at least 2-1, not down 2.
True. All right, let's talk about today, leg 2. What prediction do you give for LAFC tonight?
I feel we win 2-1.
2-1?
And get our first International Cup championship. And so we could let the world know, and wherever we have to go play, like who we are. We are black and gold. We are LAFC.
All right, and then imagine us being in the FIFA World Cup, doing the Dale Dale black and gold in Saudi.
Would have been amazing. I think we envisioned that 6 years ago. I think when 2008 this club became, there was a thing that somebody said, we envisioned big, we were born big. It's time to prove it now, that we are big.
All right, last question for Pookie before I let him go. Pookie, what time did you take your first drink for this final?
About 11 a.m. for breakfast.
Ready to continue to get lit?
Oh, responsibly.
All right. All right, man, we're going to let him go so we can enjoy this final, guys.
Thank you.
Like in Mexico, how do you think the team performed, and what do you think we could do better on?
Man, that game was tough. I mean, got to give it to McCarthy, man. He kept that game, could have easily been like a 5-0 right there. They just need to work more on getting them goals, man. You can't let go of missing opportunities, man. You just got to score that ball. You got to get them goals. Got to secure it.
All right, let's talk about today, leg 2, back at our stadium. What prediction you give for today, man?
I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say balls to the wall, 3-0.
3-0?
3-0.
Who do you think is gonna score?
Vela, Buanga, and Opoku. Buanga and Opoku are my go-to guys. Vela, I'm gonna say he's gonna score off a free kick.
Is it me, or I feel like Opoku's more like of a sub than a starter?
You know what? I could see that. I see that point of view, but I think that given the performances that he's had previously, he could probably become a starter. But I would say, as of right now, with what we have, I think he should be better as a sub.
All right, last question before we let Ramon go. He already knows. Ramon, what time did you take your first drink for this final?
All right, for this final at 2 p.m. But my first drink of the day was at midnight because it was my homie Gio's birthday. So happy birthday, Pa.
That's right. You ready to continue to get lit, and hopefully we win tonight, man?
Oh, you already know. And don't forget to subscribe, like this video, hit the notification so that you can see his videos all the time. I'm telling you, great content.
All right, guys, we're going to let Ramon go so you can enjoy this final, guys.
All right, brother.
There's those 2 unfortunate goals.
All right, let's talk about the first leg in León. How do you think about the team's performance, and what do you think we could have done better?
Oh, man. Straight up, we played terrible. By far one of the worst games I think we've played so far this season. We were no communication. Nobody was in sync. It was just terrible. We kept getting bombed. If it wasn't for the defense, if it wasn't for our goalkeeper, which is McCarthy, it would have been an easy 5-0. Honestly, it was like a game to lose, 5-0. Straight up 5-0. McCarthy saved us. The defense saved us. And we were fortunate to get that last-minute Buanga goal.
All right, let's talk about today, leg 2 in our stadium. What are your predictions, and what do you think we should work on?
You know what? Today, like I said, that last-minute goal, I don't know if anybody else felt it or seen it, but as soon as we got that last-minute goal, León kind of like put their heads down, saying, shit. So we're only 1 down. We are at home. We always play better at home. We're always in sync. So I'm looking for at least a good 3-1 or if not a 2-0 lead. Yeah.
Who do you think is going to score tonight?
Buanga. I hope Buanga, because Buanga, I don't know if you've seen him when he's talking to the camera. He's hungry. He's super hungry. So, I mean, he's been carrying us all season. I hope he comes through, and I hope somebody else scores as well. But I'm looking for a 2-1 or 2-0.
Who do you prefer to see on the right side? You think we should put Ryan, or should we put Palencia?
You know what? Valencia does good. Valencia does really, really good. Unfortunately, kind of like how I mentioned before, Sifu is kind of turning into a ball hog. Carlos Vela, again, when he has the time and the space, that's when you see a pass or you see something from him. But when he's under pressure, nothing. So again, I prefer Palencia. I prefer Palencia.
All right.
I hope Murillo comes in today. I hope Murillo comes in.
We need Murillo.
We need Murillo. We need Murillo definitely to take control over that defense. Or at least Chiellini.
All right, last question before we let Ernie go enjoy this final. Ernie, tell the people what time you took your first drink for this final.
Oh man, we've been here since 11. So I mean, game starts at 6. We're happy. We're happy. So we're getting going, man. We're going. It's a great turnout. You know, it's gonna be a good game. We're looking for that W. You know, we need to get that W today. We gotta show these León fans because they're over here walking in our turf like they own it. We can't let that happen.
I feel it.
We need to come in here. We gotta fry them. You know how we keep saying we have bigger fish to fry. This is one of the fishes. We gotta fry them.
All right, guys, we're gonna let Ernie go so we can enjoy this CONCACAF final, man. Appreciate you. What about leg 1 in León? I know you were there.
Yeah.
So how was the experience in León, and how do you think the team performed, and what do you think we could do better on?
They sucked really badly, man. León kind of ran over us tactically. They did everything correctly. I think freaking Hollingshead and Palacios had a good, really horrible night. And I think the goal from Buanga made us win emotionally and mentally. I think we'll be a little bit better for that. As far as that goes, we'll definitely be prepared here for that.
All right, so let's talk about today, leg 2. What prediction you give, and what do you want to see better from this team?
The midfield, I need to be better structured. I need more backup for Cheeky and Hollingshead. If León comes that way, we need to score first, period. Score first. Bonga needs to be on fire. Vela needs to be on fire. And a midfielder, just one midfielder to actually stand out this time. No one stood out. No one stood out against León. Yeah.
How'd you feel about Sifu's performance?
It was pretty shitty. I mean, there's only 2 plays, I think, where he should have shot. And I think he gave Opoku, I remember who it was exactly, or Buanga a bad pass. He needs to be more decisive. He needs to be better. If he's going to go to Rangers, he has to be up all the time. He can't be fucking around like that. Yeah.
All right, but tell me your experience about León. How did the León fans treat you? Was it hostile? How was the environment? How was the stadium? How was everything?
It was okay. When you asked me about the Bocho thing, I didn't hear them. Then I heard it when I went over there, and I kind of got a little irritated. The Bochos are here waiting for you, first of all. But other than that, it was pretty good. When we scored, the León fans started throwing, beer, maybe miados, who knows, I don't know exactly what it was. And that kind of irritated me a little bit. So when they're here nice and friendly or whatever, I don't know. It was a good time. I enjoyed it, and they had good food. There you go.
All right, Danny. So the people want to know, what time did you take your first drink for this CONCACAF Champions League final?
I think it was like 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock?
Yeah, I was on my way to get some burritos, and I had the Black Label on the rocks.
You ready to continue drinking, and if we win, get emotional for a little bit?
100%, man. If it's anything like the MLS final, I just can't wait, man. I can't wait. Yeah, can't wait.
All right, guys, we're going to let Danny go so he can enjoy this CONCACAF Champions League final. That's right. All right, let's talk about the first game in León. Obviously, we lost 2-1. What do you think? How do you think the team performed, and what do you think we could get better on?
I mean, for what I was able to see, I mean, it was a pretty tough game. Hard for them to have possession, attack, but luckily we got 1 goal, and it's 1-0. You know, 1 more goal, we're tied. It's all about today. So.
Yeah. Talking about today, let's talk about today. So, what prediction you give? Are we coming out as champions, or we're not coming out as champions?
I'm gonna predict we're coming out as champions. Like I think being at home, closing out at home right here, having everyone here, it's the most important thing. We do our part. Let's hope the team, gets the results. So I'm hoping we're champions today for sure.
What was the prediction?
I think it's gonna be tight, but I'm gonna have to go with like 3-1.
3-1? Okay, last question before we let Luis go. Before we even came up, he was smoking some weed, but the real question is, what time did you take your first drink today?
I started at like 11, bro. I had mimosas in the morning, gonna get some beers inside, so yeah.
Are you gonna go early for the 50% discount or what?
Yes, sir. Always. Have to.
All right, guys. We're gonna let Luis go so we can enjoy this CONCACAF Champions League final, man. Let's talk about the first leg in León. Obviously, we lost. So, how do you think the team performed, and what do you think we need to do better on today?
Honestly, I don't think they performed well. They looked very tired. They couldn't connect in passes. But overall, we'll take it. It could have been a lot worse, bro. Could have been a lot worse, so we'll take it.
All right, so let's talk about today, leg 2. Obviously, we're playing at home. What prediction you give for tonight? Are we coming out as champs, or we're not coming out as champs?
We're coming out as champions. 3-0, 2-0. We're going to skunk them. They ain't going to score today.
Who do you think is going to score?
Sifu and maybe Boanga.
Okay.
Yeah, and then probably Vela too. Vela has to do something, bro. Vela, if you watch this, you got to do something.
All right, last question before we let Alex go enjoy this CONCACAF Champions League final. Alex, so the people, they want to know, what time did you take your first drink for this final?
Today's first drink was, I woke up, had a beer. I still haven't had breakfast. I'm trying to see what I can eat right now. Okay. So it was probably like 8 a.m. Right now I'm slowing it down. We're drinking ultras now. We're slowing it down right now.
Continue to keep drinking, get lit, a ride of emotions. If we come out as champs, maybe cry a little bit.
That's right. Yeah, we're gonna celebrate after. We're gonna meet back here and we're gonna do another interview.
All right, guys. We're gonna let Alex go so we can enjoy this CONCACAF Champions League final, man.
Appreciate it.
Yo, what up, my back and go? I'm here with Matthew, and I got a few questions for him. Matthew, how we doing for this final, man?
I'm feeling good. I think León rightfully taught us a lesson last leg. They've had 3 weeks just to like rest and watch match footage and just analyze the hell out of us. So I think that's like it was expected that they were going to have a strong result and their away leg. But I think now we've had a chance to kind of regroup, analyze our match footage on them now. We saw they made some good adjustments towards the last half of last game, so we'll see how it goes, eh?
What prediction you give for tonight? We coming out as champs or we're not coming out as champs?
I hope we come out as champs. It can go either way. I'm hoping for a clean 2-0. Just lock it down, take it home, you know, that kind of thing.
All right. So let's talk about a different subject. How'd you feel about the U.S. Open Cup? Obviously, we played with teenagers. We lost to the Galaxy. How do you feel about that?
I think it was probably the right decision. As much as I want that Open Cup so badly, it's outlived every American soccer league, right? Yeah. But I think that something had to give this year. And giving those kids an opportunity to actually get out there and play ball and really test their mettle against a first 11 Galaxy team, for lack of a better term. I mean, like, there was some changes, but effectively a first 11 was just such a good opportunity for them. We really saw like Julian Gaines, Javan Romero, a lot of those guys really show out in ball. And I think that was actually a pretty, you know, while it sucked to take a loss, it didn't really feel like a real derby loss. I don't know why it just didn't. I think the vibes were just too good after the game. But letting those kids really just get like a good chance to prove what they do, I think it was probably the best outcome we could have hoped for.
How'd you feel about Ricky Puig taking off his shirt and showing it to the 32-52?
I'm in the 32-52. I was like a couple feet from him when he did it. I was like, all right, that's a bit much, but like I didn't have too strong of feelings towards it. I was like, whatever. He scored a goal. He's a 6, so he doesn't score too many goals. Yeah. So I can see where he's coming from and taking it out. He's like, yeah, but it's also like, does it really? You know what I mean? Yeah. But like I'm not like one of those guys like, yo, you know, I'm not too strong about it.
I feel it. All right, Matthew, last question before we let you go. Let the people want to know, the fans want to know, what time did you take your first drink for this final?
I woke up at 12:15 today, went across the street, got coffee, got here at around like 2:30, and I had my first drink at 2:35, and this is the only stuff I had today. It's just coffee and beer so far.
All right. You're ready to get lit, ride of emotions, if we come out champs, even cry a little bit?
I did the last final, so shit. Well, you know, it's all about the folks who aren't here to see this day. You know what I mean? That's what the final's about. That's what made me start crying. So if we take the Champions League home, man, like yo,
it'd be crazy.
It's all about remembering the people who didn't get to see this day. So you know what I mean?
All right, guys, we're gonna let Matthew go so you can enjoy this CONCACAF final, man.
Follow him on Instagram.
Thank you, man. In León, obviously we lost. How do you think that the team performed, and what do you think we could do better on?
Well, I just think we started off on our back foot. Like it seemed like we were being too cautious, not playing our usual style. But you know, we left with a half decent result. Doesn't matter how we play. Like we could have played great, and if we would have went out 2-1, we might have still been okay with it, right? So we didn't play our best. We have that result to show for it. That's fine. But I don't know. It's just I just have a feeling that we're gonna come out guns blazing this time. I don't know. Just I usually don't get feelings like that, but I don't know. Just
all right. Let's talk about today. Obviously, leg 2, we're playing in our house. We're coming out as champs today, or we're not coming out as champs?
But I think we're gonna come out guns blazing. It's championship or bust. Obviously, it's win or go home. But I would tell my 3252 friends and family to start looking for tickets to Saudi Arabia in December. Let's go.
What's the prediction for today?
3-0 LAFC. 3-0. Let's go. Let's get it. We got to.
If we lose today, you think it will be a failure of a season?
No, not a failure of a season. We're not gonna lose tonight, but even if the tables were to turn and that would be the result, absolutely not. I mean, we still have a lot to play for. This is just a new standard that we're setting for our club. Our new standard is finals of Champions League. So that's all it is.
All right, last question before we let Tony go. Tony, the people want to know, what time did you take your first drink for this final?
I took it like an hour and a half ago. Yeah, an hour and a half ago. Right.
Ready to get lit, go these wave of emotions, maybe cry a little bit, we become champions?
I mean, I think I cried a little at the not the Open Cup. I cried a little. I did cry a little at the Open Cup, but I cried a little bit at MLS Cup after we won for sure.
Okay, all right, guys. We're going to let Tony go so we can enjoy this final, man.
Cheers.
Let's go. Vamos, LAFC!